Alright, from GameSpot. GameSpot may receive revenue from affiliates and advertising partnerships for sharing this content with from purchases through the. Well, do they legally have to state that now? I was thinking I don't know, they were getting paid by Nintendo or something to write this article, but I guess a new legal okay, whatever. Anyway, from GameSpot. Pokemon Winds and Waves are skipping Nintendo Switch, and that's a good thing. Hey, screw you. I don't have a Switch. I don't have a Switch 2. I only have a Switch. I don't have the money for a Switch 2. I would like to play this game. Anyway, hopefully Pokemon Winds and Waves take the technology leap forward that the series needs. Yeah, so I'm kind of hoping for a better looking game than Scarlet and Violet. Even though I know the Switch is capable of doing that, but I guess the excuse is that they can only go on Switch 2 because of the graphics. Anyway, let's read and find out. By Thomas Franzese. It's official, Pokemon Winds and Waves will not be released on Nintendo Switch. The website for the new games outright confirms this, stating that they will be released exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2 in a simultaneous worldwide release in 2027. This will mark the first time that a mainline Pokemon game will be released exclusively for Nintendo's latest system, as every title released since Pokemon Sword and Shield in 2018 has been on Nintendo Switch. No? The Game Boy Advance ones, they were only for the Game Boy Advance. They weren't Game Boy compatible, so I guess there is precedent for this, but this might be frustrating to those who don't want to invest $450 or more in a new system to play the latest. Well, plus the price of the game, which is $90 now, so $500 plus tax, maybe $600 in the end. In the new system to play the latest Pokemon game, but I believe Nintendo Switch 2 exclusivity was the right decision for Pokemon Winds and Waves. Well, you're dumb. Bleh. While the Pokemon games on Nintendo DS and 3DS were some of the most technologically impressive games on those systems, the Nintendo Switch games have been disappointment from a presentation standpoint. But they didn't have to be. The Switch is capable of doing more. Have you seen the Zelda game, what was it called? Breath of the Wild 2. The Switch is capable of doing better. It was Pokemon Sword and Shield were famously met with backlash for their low-quality in-game textures and the fact they didn't feature every previous Pokemon. I don't know, the Sword and Shield looked pretty good. It wasn't bad, really. I think Scarlet and Violet was a step down from Sword and Shield, even. They could have, if maybe they had Scarlet and Violet was even on the same level as Sword and Shield, that I would have accepted it anyway. Pokemon games looked and played roughly throughout the entire Nintendo Switch generation as Pokemon Legends, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and Pokemon Legends Arceus all struggled to maintain stable frame rates. Again, that's, I think, a programming issue or something. I don't think that's a hardware issue. They looked console generations behind compared to other open-world games on Nintendo Switch, even with a launch title like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. When Nintendo has to apologize for the state of Scarlet and Violet at release, you know something is wrong. When Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got a Switch 2 update, Pokemon Legends ZA got a Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Many of those problems went away. While they still looked a bit subpar compared to other modern open-world games, there were no frame rate issues as the game constantly ran at 60 FPS. Those games became much more enjoyable to play when the frame rate is constantly hitching and slowing down the experience. Again, like we've seen, it can be done, but they just... Or I don't know, I don't know what the problem is. Maybe it's not... Well, I don't know. Anyway, if Pokemon Winds and Waves were released on Nintendo Switch, they'd likely feature many of the same problems. I'm no programmer or engineer, but I can see how having a large open world where players can seamlessly explore islands and dive underwater to encounter Pokemon would be too intensive on the original Switch. On the Switch 2, Game Freak has allowed it to be a little more ambitious with what Pokemon Winds and Waves can offer, I suppose. If the choice is between the next Pokemon game being a Switch 2 exclusive or having a really bad Switch 1 port, I'm alright with the former. Now, Game Freak just needs to deliver games that look good and run well on Switch 2 to prove that the exclusivity decision was worth it. Make a long wait till 2027 worth it. But that I think I'd agree with that last bit. Like, you have to make, if it's going to be exclusive, it has to be worth it. So, they better make the game look just like the trailer then. Pokemon Presents, that's from the Presents, and that's it. Yep, that's it. Huh. I don't know, because that, again, Sword and Shield, it did not look bad. I know, you could have... Because I don't think it needed to be that... How Scarlet and Violet didn't need to be that kind of open world. If that makes any sense. Like, it didn't need to be how... Like, they could have made it like a Sword and Shield type map. Like, a lot of the stuff was in backgrounds, and they just had, like, bigger paths and stuff. Like, you could have made, like, big backgrounds for the cities and just have, like, a small playing area. That would have been fine. Or I don't know. I don't know, it just didn't seem like the Switch 2 looked any better than the Switch, like, hardware-wise. So I don't see how the Switch 2 could really be more of an improvement. If it's just like 0.1% better than Switch. I don't know, maybe what did you say, maybe do circuitry or whatever, I don't know. I don't know. Fine, but yeah, no, I guess bottom line is make it look like the trailer. And make it open world like the trailer. If you want me, if you expect people to like shell out $500, $600 for this thing. Yeah, I guess that's my opinion. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think it'd be worth it if it's going to be better graphics quality wise, but still going to be the same gameplay? Like, the gameplay is very basic, so I don't see why you need to use up so much RAM on that, or so much resources on that. You could just... Yeah, because like they have all these weird gimmicks and things that they add to it that they don't need. Just cut that part out and give us like a really good Pokemon adventure. It doesn't need to have like these gimmicks. I'm just rambling now. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, okay.